And now, it's time for a Star Trek story. Well, Tyson, we've been watching these episodes of Star Trek Picard. You've seen a little of Discovery. We've been watching some of this Picard. So, my question is, Tyson, at least based on what you've seen or what we have seen, does Star Trek work for modern serialized streaming?
Does it work as a modern day serialized? It does work. It does work, but it only goes so far. They put the thing up. If it didn't work, then Paramount wouldn't have put it up. You know, they would have canned it. But I think it's just a lot of it feels so superfluous to me that it's hard for me to derive as much of a meaning out of it, out of other modern day serialized sci-fi shows that are out there. I could go to, I could quote Battlestar Galactica and Battlestar Galactica. No TV show is impervious, I don't think. But yeah.
Yes, asterisks.
Yes. Yeah, ellipses. Yes.
Maybe yes, but maybe we've lost a little something.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Yes.
Okay. I can truck with that. Unfortunately, we are watching Star Trek today on Star Trek Stories, so we can investigate this question.
Way.
Can you believe it? Wow. Yes, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to Star Trek Stories. This is episode 97. The end is the beginning. The end is the beginning. Yes, welcome to the show. I am your periodical host, Jaron Hatch. We are deep into our look at modern Trek, where we're doing our little mini pilot season, looking at the beginnings of all these different modern Star Trek shows. Wacky wild stuff so far. Wacky wild. Last time we watched Maps and Legends. This was the middle part of our 3-episode intro to Picard that we're doing, Star Trek Picard. And spoilers, we have a couple of returning guests to come talk about this 3rd episode. Wow, can you believe it? You've already heard one of them sitting on my left on the big green comfy couch. Once again, we have the very lovely Tyson Baker with us. Yay! Welcome back, Tyson.
Thank you.
It's been so long.
I know.
Minutes.
Milliseconds.
2 minutes later. Yes, for those new to the show, Tyson is a good friend of the podcast, dear friend of mine, and old member of the, not old member, but member of the Old Boys House.
Oh, I'm old. Back in days of yore.
You, of course, have been here for the last 2 episodes, watching this whole little Act 1 of Star Trek Picard, at least how the showrunners called it. Real quick, we haven't fully... It's hard to fully have all the final thoughts on all of this because we've still got this one to watch, but what's your feeling on where we're at so far with these 2 episodes of Star Trek Picard? Where are you at with this?
I would say we're at a place where it started off kind of hot and kind of nostalgia, and then it kind of took an overloaded informational plot-driven downturn. And feeling a little more lost than I did in the first episode. I guess it's the Act 2, or, part 2 of Act 1. And so they have a lot to cover. And I'm still trying to grasp onto the idea of why should I give a shit. And but I love seeing Patrick Stewart, and he's going to get on a ship, hopefully, in this next episode. He's going to get out into space and off of Earth.
Fingers crossed some Star Trekking in Star Trek.
Yes.
Are we going to see Dracula surf today?
Yes.
Next episode, Alan. Next episode. We're setting it up. We have to answer where he gets the surfboard from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's got to go into the forest and carve the board out of the wood and then talk about it with his friends for at least 20 minutes.
Dracula goes into a coffee shop and you see a flyer hanging up on a bulletin board for surf lessons.
Oh, man. I wish we were watching that.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Hopefully with more lens flare.
Yeah. All right, so... a bit lost.
I'm feeling a bit lost.
Hoping it comes together in this one on
Yep.
some level, and that we get Patrick Stewart into space finally.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool seeing Starfleet, though, too, I will say in this last episode. Starfleet in San Francisco is always...
Sure. I guess, there's a kind of novelty. This is definitely the most Earthbound we've been on our Star Trek podcast. I mean, like, aside from, like, the stuff on the Borg Cube, it's mostly just been all Earth stuff so far, and that's fairly novel.
Indeed.
Any hopes or predictions for this last one?
I don't know. Just more cohesion, more simplification. That's my hopes. Hopefully they bring it together. I doubt that they will.
Hopefully it all comes together.
Yeah, but I'm an hopelessly idealistic person, despite how much I rant and rave. But maybe we'll get a cameo from a Riker or from LaForge.
We don't need them in this show. We don't.
Missed opportunity. Beverly?
All right. Well, yeah, hoping it all comes together. Good hope. Predicting that it won't. Well, also rejoining us for this third episode of Star Trek Picard, sitting in the captain's chair, once again, we have the very lovely Ellen Marie Lewis back on with us.
Yay, thank you.
Ellen, welcome back. Ellen, for those who are new to the podcast, is a good friend of the podcast, dear friend of mine, an old buddy from the old Sundance days, as are all three of us. Ellen, you, of course, have been on for the last couple episodes as well. And you have also been on a little bit of like a TNG kind of journey, like getting introduced to the original Next Generation show. We watched one of the movies. Now we're watching this kind of like modern kind of sequel series. So from your perspective, now that we have these 2 episodes under our belt, how are you feeling about where we are so far with this show?
I'm feeling like a little lost in this show. I'm also kind of sharing like Tyson's hope that we get some more cohesion in this episode, or at least kind of more of like a firm direction of where we're going to be going with all of this information that we've been presented.
Yeah. Like, oh, I got it. Thank you. I finally
now
got it.
I get it.
Okay. Yeah. Feeling lost, but hoping it all comes together.
Yes.
Okay.
Or it comes together enough. At least.
Enough. It's just a little bit.
Just a little as a treat.
Any hopes or predictions for this third episode?
I really share the sentiment of hoping that we see some familiar faces, if not anyone from the actual crew. Like, it'd be nice to see our good friend Whoopi Goldberg. I feel like this was a stage in her career where, you know, she has like a little bit more like free time and like the ability to kind of pick and choose projects.
Come on back.
Yeah, she always likes to come stop by for a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see number 1 again, famously. Like,
Completely absent from last episode.
yeah, like I miss him. I want to know what he was up to.
Homeward Bound: The Final Frontier. Yes, please. Before we get into it, I'll throw out the question of the day to you, Ellen. What do you think? A lot of what we watched on the podcast was fairly episodic. We did get 1 2-parter in there. Any thoughts on, does Star Trek work for a modern serialized streaming universe?
We'll find out after this episode, I guess. But yeah, like there are things that I feel like have worked so far. I feel like, you know, we're still kind of finding our footing for this specific series. But I think it's kind of interesting too that like there is kind of this idea with streaming where they can do more, but they're kind of leaning more towards these like generally like the more serialized episodes, and then also at the same time have something like Lower Decks, which I don't know if I've mentioned, like one of my favorite like podcaster and comedians, I recently found out that she wrote on some of the episodes of it. So, and I feel like that's so different than like just anything else that we've gotten in that universe.
Lower Decks is very different.
Yes, very much.
Very different.
Like I feel like there isn't really like a comedy before then set in Star Trek, let alone like, you know, the only other animated series they have is like, there was like a Hanna-Barbera one and like
it was a Filmation
70s, right?
one.
Filmation.
Filmation did one.
Either way, very cheaply animated. Like they had a budget of $5.
$5. Oh my God. Yeah. The budget for that show. Crazy. Yeah. It's just one of these things. The jury is still kind of out on this whole era and some of this approach, just because it's still the one we're in. So like with like some of the golden age stuff with Next Gen and Voyager that we did, it's like, that is now like a firmly locked in era that we're decades from now. So it's easier to go back and kind of see in hindsight what really worked, what didn't work.
Absolutely.
And we're still kind of, I feel like the jury is out with some of this stuff. It's like, what is the overall legacy of this era of the show? And they certainly were trying a whole bunch of new things, and serialized like streaming is definitely one of them. So,
and it'll be interesting to see what that perspective is as like time changes, just even like looking at other shows that have been and other properties that have been around for a long time. Like obviously this is much different, but like I feel like with like Saturday Night Live, anytime that there's like a major cast change up, everyone's like, none of these people are funny anymore, the show's lost its touch. And then at least a decade later, they'll have another major change and be like, oh, I miss everyone from the last cast, this new one sucks. And you know, there's
the cycle, this SNL cycle.
And as like time goes on, like these like previous iterations tend to have, you know, more appreciation, especially from like if someone is like a young adult at the time that it's on. Like you know, I'm famously very much in love with Bill Hader, and I feel like we're at the point now where like the era that he was on with like Kristen Wiig and like Andy Samberg is been seen as like a more classic part of the SNL run, which for a while that was like when I was a teenager, like the SNL that was on TV where everyone's like, oh, this isn't
this
what?
New SNL stuff.
Yeah, like these people, like
where's Tina Fey?
She's on 30 Rock. You guys aren't tuning in, and I am. Like, it's a great show.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's always interesting to see how these things change over time, and fascinating. I'll be curious if we have any more additional thoughts when this episode is over, just to consider Star Trek in a more modern, serialized world. And I guess we can see if Picard makes for good serialized, a good serialized streaming Star Trek show. We will see. Yes, we are indeed watching The End is the Beginning today on Star Trek Stories. This premiered February 6th, 2020. This is the third episode of the first season of Star Trek Picard. And as we've said earlier, we are watching the first 3 episodes of Picard. As the showrunner said, the first 3 made up Act 1 of this first season, and to at least check out those 3 episodes to give the show a chance. So here we are, the final episode in our little 3-episode look at Picard.
Final Frontier?
The Final Frontier, yeah.
The end of the beginning.
The end is the beginning. The beginning is the end? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that title to not have anything to do
with anything.
Maneuver.
This wasn't an end or a beginning.
The middle part.
The middle is the middle.
Malcolm in the middle.
Yeah, so I guess we can see how this I guess concludes this Act 1 and how we feel about it, and if we would keep watching after this. I guess we will see. All right, everyone at home who's going to watch along with us, Star Trek Picard is streaming on Paramount Plus. You can find it by bringing up Season 1, Episode 3, and we'll be back after we watch The End is the Beginning.
total sense that you're angry. I disappointed you. I neglected you, and I wasn't there when you needed me. I am truly sorry.
I don't care.
Raffi, there is a unit of Tal Shiar synth hunters operating on Earth openly. That could not happen without Federation complicity.
I'm listening.
You always said there were Romulan Federation connections I didn't see.
I was talking about Mars, JL. The Romulan rescue. Those aren't connections I just see like people see angels or ghosts. I have evidence. I have concrete evidence that a high-ranking Starfleet official conspired to allow the attack to go forward, to put an end to the rescue mission,
Raffi,
which they opposed.
Raffi, they had no reason to sabotage their own rescue.
What do you think happens when there's a cover-up? They conceal it.
That's why I need your help. I need your mind, your ability to see things others don't see.
No. No. I will not go down another rabbit hole with you, JL. No, never again.
Raffi.
No, go.
We just got done watching The End is the Beginning. If you did not watch it, watch this with us. Haven't not seen this, again, I'll try to sum this up, but again, I'm like, what? I guess I'll play it in the background just to jog our memories.
It helps, kind of.
So we get a little flashback of back when he was Admiral and they were trying to do this whole Romulan evacuation. He was trying to convince him to do it, but then this android attack happened and took out part of the fleet, and the Federation decided to cancel the evacuation. So we learned that Picard actually had went in there to him and Raffi had put together, like, here's how we can still do this. Let's do it. But they're like, no, we're not going to do it. And as like a last little last-ditch effort to do it, he threatens to resign if they won't do it. And then they accept his resignation. So that gives us a little more context as to why he's not in Starfleet anymore. We also learned that during this, like, Raffi was also essentially fired and drummed out of Starfleet just because she was attached to Picard during all this. So we get that little context. We get some scenes with him at her place in Vasquez Rocks, California, her space trailer, where she's kind of now, like, she drinks and she smokes and she's kind of lost a lot of her faith and everything. And They also kind of paint her as a bit of a conspiracy theorist because she's, I guess, been trying to prove that like Romulans have been behind this for years, and no one's taken her seriously. Because we hear a few times Picard like, why would the Romulans like do this like and sabotage their own evacuation fleet? She's like, we'll figure it out.
Mars explosion was an inside job.
Yeah, essentially.
Jet fuel can't melt Mars.
So because he has come to her needing a pilot, she has found a pilot for him. He's also given her some of the information on Bruce Maddox and everything, so hoping that she will help him kind of figure out where he is and where he can start looking. And we get introduced to the pilot of the ship, Captain Rios, Cristobal Rios, this kind of sexy ex-Starfleet guy. His crew is a bunch of like holograms that look like him, but with different accents. Very, very interesting. During all this, we get scenes back on the Borg cube. Soji talks with the director of the Borg Reclamation Project, who we learn is Hugh from the original Next Generation series. We didn't watch any. You didn't watch any of the Hugh episodes, Ellen, but we did actually watch the Hugh episodes. Trying to piece this back to like what exactly happened on the Borg cube is that Soji wants to interview one of the reclaimed Borg, like who is a Romulan and is kind of recovering, and she's interviewing her to kind of learn more about something, and she's playing like Romulan space tarot or something. And we just kind of get these weird, vague things of like, I recognize you, you're the destroyer of worlds. And she seems to recognize she's one of these like android twins.
It's J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, mostly what those scenes are. And then Narek's evil Romulan sister shows up to kind of supervise him still getting more information from Soji. And then Picard is going off. He's getting prepared to go off to go aboard the ship to go begin his little quest. The Tal Shiar, the Zhat Vash, show up at his chateau though, and there's like a little like to take him out, and there's a little action sequence that happens. Alison Pill as Dr. Girardi just also randomly shows up and just shoots a guy, just like, oh, I'm coming too, and it's like, okay, you're coming too. And the episode ends with Picard and Dr. Girardi, and Rafi ends up also just like joining their little crew. So we do kind of, at the end of this episode, more or less finally here's kind of who the main cast is going to be. It's Picard, it's Alison Pill as Dr. Girardi, we get Rafi, and then we get Captain Rios. That is essentially who like the main little crew is going to be. And then the episode ends with this little ragtag crew on the ship and Picard going, engage. And that is our little 3-episode Act 1. We'll start with initial thoughts. Ellen, initial thoughts on the end is the beginning.
I think they could have easily done the more important story beats for the story they want to tell within one episode. I think ending with like the engage works really well for a pilot. Yeah. Not for, we've spent more than like a feature-length movie's time in this iteration at this point. Yep. And also just with like the way that like we're trying to establish these relationships with new characters. Like I realize we can't bring every single person back for season 1, but in terms of like these relationships that end up actually being important to the story, they're just established in such bizarre ways. Like the fact that we had this like quick flashback of when he was working with Rafi, like in this episode, it's like, why weren't you doing this for the last 2 episodes for these characters that he knows, we as the audience do not know, that are supposed to be these like dear old friends. Like, show us like a moment of them knowing that they both exist, like of them knowing each other. Because I feel like, you know, the fact that, besides the fact that Picard's actions were not very in character in that scene, the fact that we got to see a moment of him having like a one-on-one, like kind of heart-to-heart moment with his first officer, like I think did a lot more to establish how two characters know each other than literally anything we've seen.
Yeah.
Especially characters that haven't been introduced in the canon before.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like showing that there is like a connection they have with each other, that it's not like a super cut and dry thing where it adds like nuance to what their relationship is, and it can be something that from there we get to explore a little bit better, like as like the adventure continues. Just also on top of that too, like in terms of turning this into one episode, like so much stuff in season 2 didn't really understand. I mean, not season 2, episode 2.
Yeah.
The last of
I
it,
feel like
episode 2
season
didn't make,
2 though, man.
Yeah,
it
like
felt drawn out.
like this is, we're 3 episodes into season 1 already.
Right, this is 3 episodes of a 10 episode season, and I'm like, barely anything has happened.
Yeah. And I feel like so little has happened, but there's been so much like expository stuff. Like if we moved into like a showing not telling kind of situation, a lot of this stuff going on in the cube that is like maybe like a day total, maybe 2 days, like
maybe
very short amount of time. Like we don't need to spend the amount of time that we have in the cube. Like I think we can like in a more compelling way get like the point across from these scenes with like less time spent there.
I just even feel like, do we even need to be seeing the cube yet? Like,
Reveal the monster too soon. Like,
Yeah.
Would it enhance the mystery if, like, Daj dies in the first episode, but we don't immediately see the twin sister Soji?
like-
We just know she's out there.
Just
So
that-
the audience is more, we're Picard in there, and like, she's just out there somewhere.
She's out
and we
there
gotta go find
somewhere.
her.
We may not even know if she's real in that
Right.
situation. Like it's one of those things where like, because also there was like, we think this might be Data's daughter, but we don't fully know. That
don't
would
know,
like
yeah.
kind of lend itself more to like, is there even another version of her out there?
Right. I mean, part of what they set up, the plot for the rest of the season is like, they don't know where she is. They don't even know if she is actually out there for sure. And so they're going to track down Bruce Maddox to help track down where she is, because they don't know. But us as the audience, it's like, but we know where she is. Like, so there's no real mystery for us. It's like they're going to find some other person to tell them where she is, but we as the audience are like, we know. Like,
what brought that home too was the woman playing space tarot cards, where she's like, "Are you the bad sister or the good sister?" It's like, we know this. Like, we saw her die. Are you alive or are you dead? I'm like, why are you asking questions that we as the audience already know? This is so asinine. It's so kind of
yeah. Tyson, initial thoughts on on the end is the beginning.
You guys have already said it. Ellen said it, like, after we got done watching the episodes, like, they could have fit this into the first episode. And I'm like, yes, I pointed at her. I'm like, we're thinking the exact same thing. But, which is ironic, because there's also that tightrope that we were talking about at the beginning of the episode, where it's like, they understand the medium, and yet they have an idea of where it's going to go. And I think they're giving themselves a disservice of not having, like, Riker, Geordi, like, all these established characters to kind of help Picard in telling this story and giving something familiar, something that is part of the zeitgeist that maybe more people will pick up on, rather than introducing all these new characters, all this new information, and making the audience kind of take this information that they can't fully understand, because it's like they had this new idea of a way to take things, and they're depending on the audience to kind of just pick up on that without any backstory. And I think it's so kind of like wonky all over the place because they spend so much time trying to explain all that, where it could have been so simplified and put into the first episode where it was its own self-contained world. But I don't know. It feels like it banks on too much nostalgia and too much. It's hard to pinpoint for me.
It is, because
it's kind of mixed up for me, like because all the ingredients are there, kind of, but it also feels drawn out, and it feels like there's missed opportunities. Like I love the woman who plays Rafi, and kind of like there's this period of time where Picard is with another ship and a totally different crew. But I'm like, if you just put in Riker or Troy, like the context would have been so much richer, and everybody would have been like, oh, okay. Just the chemistry on a purely, and not to say that they don't have chemistry, but like there's this kind of innate thing that it's totally banking on Picard. And dude, the guy is old. He's like, and you know, Patrick Stewart does a great job, but also it's like he can only carry so much. And I also think, I don't know, I don't think he's totally like William Shatner, where it's like, oh, it's a star vehicle. He loves having a show about his character that's so just it's about him. I'm sure he loved that, but also like, I don't know, there's a certain point that is missed, and then it's like drawn out over a long period of time, and it's frustrating, or it's not frustrating, like inherent. I like enjoy it. It's fine. It's fun. It's like nothing to lose sleep over, but it just
I'll lose sleep over it.
It's missed opportunities. And
yeah. I mean, if we're coming to the question of like, does Star Trek work in the modern serialized like era, I'm like, well, maybe, like you said, Elle, but I'm like, I don't think this demonstrates that it can, though. Like this, like you had said, this feels like this all could have been in one episode. It feels so drawn out, and it feels like they're really just banking on tune in next week to see if anything happens, like, you know, as if to keep you going. I'm like, no, you got to get people invested in like each episode. I'm like, the second one felt like such a nothing burger. Totally. I will say I, as a whole, enjoyed this one more than the second one. It felt like there was a little more going on. Like the scenes with Picard and Rafi, I thought were pretty, like,
agreed.
In terms of like because last episode we talked about there was like no emotional investment. It was all plot. And like this one picked up a bit more of the emotional investment threads, like Picard and Rafi. I was like, okay, this is something. And we get a little bit with Rios, not much. It's still not enough in the end. I'm just like, and now we're finally going, huh? Okay, like
just like the whole structure of it too, because I've seen with like other series like taking time to like build like the core team together, like you know, like my favorite piece of sci-fi is like the anime version of Cowboy Bebop. And
great.
Yeah, it's incredible. And you're probably about a third of the way through the series before the full Bebop crew is together. But the way that like the show is written and works, like you're still getting to see relationships build between the other characters that haven't been introduced. You're not getting all of this like nothing burger like episode content like on the way over. Yeah, like just the approach to storytelling is so different from this. Like you can have shows where you build like this like team over time, but just the fact that there are shows that take longer to build a team where it feels more cohesive, and these 3 episodes of getting most of the ship's crew together and we still have one more person to go kind of felt like a slog. It's like it really has something to do with the like approach. And yeah, I do like this episode better than the ones we've had before. And the first episode of these 3 is, I'd say, the best.
Yeah.
Like at least I like this better than the last one we watched.
First 1, 3, 2.
Yeah. Exactly. And one thing that I think has worked well about this is that there is kind of trying to build some of the relationships more, and there just hasn't been room for anything like that to breathe.
This has all been set up. You've had so much time to set these characters up. And I still feel like we're going into acts 2 and 3 trying to figure out who these characters are. But I'm like, no, this is when you're supposed to be now introducing, now that you've set them up, now this is when you start introducing like conflict because we've set them up. I'm like, we're still going to be trying to learn about these characters when we should be getting now into like the conflict with them. This all feels really haphazard. And it kind of feels like they're making it up as they go. And as far as I know, that's not how it was constructed, though. But it feels like it. And I'm like, and that's a problem. It feels like they're just making it up as they go. Very slapdash. And just like, this, I guess.
Yeah. The doctor coming out of nowhere, like, and shooting Alison Pill's character.
I'm here.
We have to get her back in, like, because we know that she's a part of the core thing. Like, there's no explanation. Like
even like lazy. The last scene we had with her, we don't see any reason for her to be like, I need to go talk to Picard right now. Like, she's just like, oh, I guess I'll leave Japan. Like,
yeah, which is plausible. Like, they have teleportation. I don't mean to harp. If any of the writers ever get a chance to hear this podcast, I don't mean to harp. I bet you, the demands of Hollywood and just writing a script and having deadlines in the film world, like I have no experience, so I can't. But I don't know. It's just it's a tightrope, man. Like it's a difficult area to navigate. And
like the fact that you were able to get something you worked on like brought to the screen is incredible.
Always,
we don't mean to diminish that.
Indeed.
Also considering too like this being like, like this like legacy like brand and story, like, like I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that maybe you agree with that we're saying that there was like executive meddling where these were like studio notes that like were like really make or break. And, we're not saying that you guys are bad writers or anything like that, or that all of this is like your fault.
Yeah, I have no doubt that everyone worked really hard on this. I have no doubt. I guess answering the like big question of all 3 episodes, like the showrunners like, just watch the first 3. That's act 1. Give it a shot. We have now watched all 3. Do you at this point, do you keep going? Does this make you want to watch more?
A little bit, yeah. I do. Just hopefully, I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm expecting more long-winded episodes, but they set it up in, I want to see what happens next. There's enough intrigue there. So in regard to the initial question for the podcast for this episode, there's enough, but I have other shows that I'm more hooked on right now.
Sure.
To be honest, that are
better.
Yeah, like I feel like in terms of like if I would have like as a more casual fan, like if I would have kept watching this after the that first act, those first 3 episodes, I feel like I would probably, assuming that other episodes of the show were out, like that I wasn't watching it in real time.
Right.
I feel like I would skip to some of the episodes with characters that I recognize, but like invested enough to like get some like little snippets here and there. Like it's like when there's other shows I've like burnt out on when I find out like an actor I like makes like a guest appearance. I'm like, okay, I know enough about what's going on in the show to watch that episode and like see this performer I like. And I feel like that's kind of where it would be for me with this also. Like I'm busy. I've got other shows to watch.
There's too much shit to watch, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll get into final thoughts for this. Ellen, final thoughts on the end is the beginning and or just Star Trek Picard as a whole?
I don't know. I guess this is also near the end of your like 100 episodes, right?
This was 97.
Yeah, I guess I think some of my final thoughts more are about this being like near the end of the podcast. Like this is I'm assuming my last episode. Well, with this being in terms of like episodes you're introducing to me for this podcast, like this is my kind of last hurrah in that regard. I don't know, it's kind of a strange note to end on. Like, I don't really know fully what to make of it. Like, I still think there are good bones to this. I don't think it's bad. I don't think less of anyone who worked on this show, like cast or crew or anyone behind the scenes. But comparing this being my like send off of new content to, you know, something like All Good Things, like also I guess too when there's like a really nice ending to something that feels really good and then they add more after that going, sometimes it's like I feel like there needs to be like a reason to keep things going, because like I know I generally like things that are really self-contained. For like something that's like a series, if there's like a nice tie to it, like we don't necessarily need more. Like Jaron and I were talking off mic earlier about like Toy Story and like how, you know, those first 3 movies are great and the 4th one's there too. Like it's not awful or anything, but like I felt like we already said everything we needed to say.
Yeah, that's All Good Things is the perfect wrap up to like the whole Next Generation thing, and then Nemesis and Picard just kind of feel like here's more.
And on top of that too, like I feel like it's so difficult to end a beloved series, especially like the longer the series goes on, like the more it's like, okay, there's how do we end this like in a nice way? Like how do we end this in a way that feels satisfying generally? That's such a difficult thing to do. They landed that quite well in my opinion. But yeah, just like for there to be more, it's like, but do we need this necessarily? Like,
yeah, it is a weird note to kind of end this whole like TNG journey, but I'm like, but that's what they gave us. Like,
it's like when you're in like a history class in like middle or high school and they have to have a chapter about like the last, like wherever you are in the current day, where it's just like we don't know what any of this means yet, but
here's where we are.
Here's a couple things that happened like at the time of publication for this textbook. Like
Yeah, definitely interesting note to end on. But yeah, they should have just ended with All Good Things. It was such a perfect ending to that whole thing. So good. Oh well. Tyson, final thoughts on either The End is the Beginning or Star Trek Picard?
I would just kind of bandwagon off of what Ellen said and what you said. It is kind of a weird place to end it, and why extend something beyond kind of when you feel like a story is closed, and obviously it's like, well, people like this, we want to create more and people can make more money, and you know, I don't know, and not to rag on any of the movies too much, you know, but it's like it's interesting to just be in our modern day and see how people and how media is being created and content is being created, and how that is kind of regurgitating stuff has become the default rather than creating something new, or producers going out on a limb, or studios going out on a limb. And yeah, it's kind of a leap of faith, and there will be a lot of failures, but you got to give the opportunity rather than depending on something that is old, or tried and I don't know. I'm rambling, but I don't know. It's fun to see Star Trek go on, though. You know, it's just kind of a middling place to kind of end it on, and I love it. I will always love it for my own reasons, and they can spit out whatever new Star Trek series, and I'm hoping that maybe one day we'll get back. But I do love Star Trek, and I love the idea of to go where no man has gone before.
Boldly go where no one has gone before.
And just getting to do this podcast and getting to talk about it, it's, you know, Star Trek is always just the framework for greater conversations. I think. That's what I love the most about.
That's all the excuse of the podcast is to have fun conversations. So,
yeah. So that's cool.
Well, yeah. I feel very similarly about this as I felt about it the first time. Just whatever. It's an interesting curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
I'll give it that. Yep. Oh, that's a thing. Cool. Trying to do something that rides the legacy of one of the great shows of all time. Like that is, in many ways, a fool's errand.
Yeah, it's not a task I envy.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, Star Trek Picard.
I do miss number 1 though. I want to see that pity.
I
That
know,
cute little puppy.
He's so cute.
0 out of 10 for just abandoning number 1.
Right. That seems out of character too. Like,
Yeah.
Bye. All right, we'll wrap it up. Thank you both for coming on. And not just for, certainly for this little run of 3 episodes. This was even though your mileage may vary with Star Trek Picard, it was certainly a fun little mini 3-episode run doing this with you guys.
Yeah.
And then also for all the episodes you guys have been on for in the past. You've both been 2 of our stalwart going on the journey with the podcast. Tyson, you going all the way back to the 3rd episode, the Man Trap from the original series, and Ellen, you coming on, I think you were on for episode 13, Encounter at Farpoint, having your own little TNG journey and getting to exposure to this whole strange legacy.
I don't know where this would be on the charcuterie board, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's off the board.
It's like when you
it's the little thing that fell to the ground.
It's like when you try to make something that you had at a restaurant and you can't get it quite right.
Yeah, the texture's off.
Yeah, it's I got the right ingredients, but
mealy. Yeah, it's been such a pleasure to have both you guys for all these episodes on the podcast. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you all at home for listening. We hope you enjoyed our coverage of the end is the beginning, if not the episode itself. Next time, we are going to be jumping into a new series, continuing our little pilot season in Modern Trek. We're going to be watching the first of our 2 animated series in this modern era, Star Trek Lower Decks. Yeah, Lower Decks. Lower Decks is not only the first attempt to bring back animated Star Trek since the 1970s animated series, but this is also the franchise's first attempt at a dedicated comedy. Yeah, we're going to be watching the very first episode, Second Contact. And we will be having on a returning guest, our good friend Andrea Peterson is going to be coming back on for that one. She was actually on for the episode of Next Generation called Lower Decks that the series is inspired off of. So Andrea will get to see both versions of Lower Decks. All right, everyone. Thank you. Ellen, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
Tyson, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone at home. We will see you all next time. Hopefully not taking 3 episodes to finally get in the car for your road trip. Riveting television, let me tell you.
And prosper.
I promise we are going to get the station wagon loaded up, but first...
Surf Dracula has finally left the surf.
Surf Dracula is finally surfing now. That's why he's Surf Dracula. All right, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to share us your own Star Trek story, you can email us at storiedstartrek@gmail.com, or you can visit our Discord server. You can find us by clicking on the link in the show description.